Royals and the Chiefs. Over the, since the inception of the leases, they've always given $2 million going toward maintenance and upkeep, along with the Jackson County and along with the state. Today, he chose the opportunity, the mayor did, to grandstand with the, inviting the police department to have a press conference to say that he has done a survey and people would rather feel safe at home and have the police protect them than to have entertainment. But the choice isn't that simple. If in fact, what we pointed out to the media at that time was that if in fact you don't fund that and we break these leases and the teams are able to pursue other opportunities or to pursue us for more money because of the cost overruns and things that are out there, it's going to be a bad thing for the taxpayers. And at the end of the day, it's going to be very bad for the police department and others because it directly generates a little over $6 million a year just in direct tax revenue to them. So by not giving them $2 million to jeopardize that, let alone any economic impact of people coming to town, staying in hotels, eating our food, and other issues, other things that they do here in town. So he admitted there was other areas of waste in city government, but that this one was easiest to point to because it was a lump sum. So I guess he's thinking that this area is waste also, and that's kind of what he pointed out. So luckily, we're working closely with the city council, and we will try to keep that funding in place because at the end of the day, this is something that the voters have approved, something that we have worked very hard on, and something that the mayor just has decided that maybe just to undo the voters' wishes. So it's not the first time he's done something like this, and I'm sure it won't be the last. So we'll have to work closely and make sure that we stay on top of this because without that money in there, it does violate the leases, and that could be a very bad thing. So that's what his press conference was all about today. We did take an informal survey, and I surveyed if people would rather get a stick in the eye or have the sports teams, and they decided they wanted to have the sports team. So, the thing about, asking questions, leading questions, that's not fair to put it in that perspective. Because at the end of the day, you can have both. So that's all I had for the press conference.
Mr. Chairman. Jay, we've heard all kinds of opinions on what happens if the city doesn't fund us. What legally happens if they don't fund us?
Mr. Rizzo, I was out of town last week, and I had not had an opportunity to discuss this with Mark Jones, and I think it would be premature for me to volunteer an opinion when Mark may have looked at this in some detail.
Okay.
And we just didn't have a chance to get together on that, and on a couple of pending issues before the meeting today.
Wasn't the city a part of the agreement?
Pardon?
Wasn't the city a part of the agreement?
Well, their funding was certainly anticipated and included in all the projections.
Anticipated. Didn't they agree to?
They agree on a series of annual contracts. Nothing that has more than a 1-year lifespan.
Well, it's just like us, Jay. I mean, we can't commit funds across budget years, but it's been there since 1990.
Correct.
So therefore, at the whim, can they do this? Yes. Is it a very good idea to do it? No. In what the voters approved, it was also in there that money is received from the state, the county, and the city. And so it is what the voters approved.
That's correct.
The question that I would like to have answered by next week, obviously, is that if they default on the $2 million, what are the legal ramifications for the county? And if they were to default, and we would find some other source for the $2 million, would that default the lease or not? It's my question. Yes.
Mr. Chairman, it seems like certainly that this would violate the spirit of the agreement if indeed it doesn't violate the exact terms. But the county has worked real hard with Mike's leadership to establish a real cooperative working agreement with the city of Kansas City. The whole idea of the jail and the county and the city working together, the idea of how we all work together with the combat. It would just seem that maybe upon reflection, the city council people would be really who we should turn to at this point. If the mayor is taking a position that perhaps isn't in the best interest of the community as a whole, that, you know, us working full-time with the city council would be the way to maybe get around this obstacle, because I see this as nothing more than an obstacle of trying to play interest off with one another when we should really be looking for the greater good, and that's to move beyond this kind of an approach and do what is would be the right thing. And that's what the voters all understood when they passed the whole tax for the sports authority and the stadiums. We need to work together to figure out how to best solve this problem.
The one correct thing that the mayor did say today is that he's one of 13 voters. So, yes, you're absolutely correct, and that's what we brought up also, is the spirit of cooperation that we have with the city, and we're working every day on to save the taxpayers' money in a number of different ways. You know, this isn't something that you just kind of bring out of left field to do. I mean, people that are working together should work together.
Thank you. We have no